This is Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast, empowering visionary healers, entrepreneurs, and ex-corporates who are ready to actualize their fullest potential through expanding their consciousness and embodied leadership. I'm your host, Gennye Rainbow Anderzon, New Earth business mentor, channel, and master healer, leader of my own business with 20 plus years experience in energy work, mentorship, and coaching. I'm a married mother of two, based outside London in the UK. In Visionary New Earth Leaders, we are going to share about world-leading cutting-edge tools of energy transformation, intuitive and soul-led business and marketing strategies, and innovative, groundbreaking thought leadership, paving the path into the new earth. So if you're ready to step into leadership, this is the vortex supporting leaders and CEOs into the new earth. Hello and welcome back to Visionary New Earth Leaders. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about revealing the secrets of your soul contract. So, some of you will know what the soul contract means, and some of you will be not so familiar with it. So, I'm going to explain to you first what it means and what this work is and how it can really help you unlock your fullest potential this lifetime and unlock your spiritual map of life and help you come into full alignment of your soul's expression. So, the soul contract refers to the soul coming in, incarnating to earth, having a preset contract, which it agrees to carry out. Basically, it decides on the different challenges it needs to grow from, and it decides on the talents and the gifts and the expression it is coming in with so that it can grow and also fulfill the highest potential that lifetime. Really, it's meant to help the soul to raise in consciousness and grow and learn. This is the generalization of the concept of a soul contract. The way we use the soul contract is that we decode it with a specific system, which is based on decoding the sound of your name. And I'm going to go in and explain exactly what it means and how it works in a moment. But I'm going to share my story first about how the soul contract came about for me. So, you may not know this yet. I think I will have to share this as another episode, but I had a spiritual awakening in 1998, and I will share with this in another episode much more in depth, but I had a spiritual awakening in 1998. It spurred me in to leave my home country, which is Sweden, and I left and I came to the UK. I started to study spiritual subjects such as astrology, and I learned to be a counselor. I learned a lot of things. I went on a really intense spiritual journey of learning and developing myself. Nevertheless, I felt quite lost at times. So although I was learning all these wonderful tools like astrology, Western astrology, and I learned counseling, I learned massage, I learned a lot of things, I really hadn't found a specific, deep sort of explanation of why I'm here. You know, what is it I'm here to do on this planet? So it felt like I was always searching. Although I was always learning, I was still searching. So in 2009, I came across my mentor, and he actually came to me for a massage. Our relationship started there, and he has taught me all the things that I now teach, plus a lot of other things. But basically, he said, "Do you want to have a soul contract reading in exchange for massage?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll have that." So it almost was like it landed in my lap. And I wasn't exactly looking at the time. I was more curious. So he said, "Yeah, go on, let's do this swap." So I had my soul contract reading, and I looked at his website at the time. And it was so many interesting trainings and so much interesting information on his website. So I was all over it. I was reading and learning and trying to understand and wanting to go on the trainings and develop myself further. It felt really intuitively, it felt completely right. It felt like I found home. I had my soul contract reading, and basically I haven't looked back since. It catalyzed me in the most magnificent and tremendous way. It was so empowering. I mean, I was so happy. I had my soul contract reading and I was like, oh my gosh, all the things that I feel inside of me that I haven't been able to put to words or explain to anyone, almost like secret wishes within myself, had been revealed on that day. So what I was secretly wishing for was the things that I was told. So he told me, you are here to be a spiritual teacher, to catalyze, heal, and magnetize groups of people, help them heal and ascend, and help them, reach their fullest potential. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to be a spiritual teacher. That was a very short sort of description of my soul contract, but that was in a nutshell what I was told. And it gave me the confidence to go further with this and to actually dive into and trust myself and trust my intuition and trust that I was meant to do this. Because prior to having my soul contract reading, my biggest blocks, if you like, or my biggest fears were, what are people going to think of me if I do spiritual work? What if my channel and my healings and my energy is not strong enough to do this work? What if I'm be looked at as a fraud? What if people are going to judge me? What if the healing is not good enough? Like, these were the internal dialogues that I had. And I know that so many spiritual entrepreneurs have these doubts in the beginning before they feel really strong, connected to their gifts and can really trust their channeling. And I was literally going from one day to having these doubts, not knowing if I was good enough to do this, to 100% believing that I am. And since then, I've actually never looked back. So I started then to learn. I learned the soul contract readings. I learned divine healing, all the levels. I learned the light body activation, the light body surgeon practitioner training. I also learned, going forward a little bit, I carried on obviously learning with business and marketing online and online mastery, and mentorship. But this was really what spurred me in to fully A, believing, yes, I can do this, and B, I am meant to do this. This is what I secretly have been wishing for, and I had just got the confirmation. And having the faith to keep going, even when things are hard, even when things feels uphill and they don't feel aligned, and when things don't feel, great always, because this is the human journey, right? This is the human experience, that we're not always on a high. We experience all the ups and downs as well. So it really gave me all these anchors, if you like, to hang on to when things were tough. And when I went through a really, really tough period through the birth of my son and the dark night of the soul, after having my son, I could hang on to this. Like this was my anchor. And that is priceless for me. And especially somebody who, like myself, I felt like, yes, I have something amazing and great and absolutely fantastic to share with the world, but I wasn't sure what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it, and I didn't really know how it would look like and what it was going to look like. And now here I am. I'm doing this podcast, and I've created all my programs, and I've created many, many success journeys for my clients. And I am just about to write a book. I'm writing the chapters as I speak, and all the things that I secretly wished for is happening. And bear in mind, this is only 13, 14 years ago. And in that time also I've had 2 children. So I've had this amazing, amazing experience for the past sort of 15 years of growing myself and growing my soul and creating an absolutely extraordinary business with help of these tools. So that's why I'm so excited to share about them, of course. So that was me having the soul contract, and I listened to the recording actually. I think it's only about a year ago. And oh gosh, it's just so wonderful to hear these words between myself and my mentor and reflect back on, this reading and how everything that was said in this reading has manifested and is happening. So I highly recommend everyone to have a soul contract reading. So I'm going to explain a little bit what it involves and how it works. So without being too technical, I will try to be as sort of simple in my words as possible to make sure that you understand what it is. So the soul contract is a numerology that is based on the sound of your name. So, for example, my name is in Swedish, my birth name. So this is the birth name that it's based on. So my Swedish name in my birth certificate is Gennye, Kristina, Louise, Anderzon. That exact vibration was the soul contract reading that I had. And this is still my birth cake, if you like. My optimized name is Gennye, Lion, Rainbow, Anderzon, which is a complete different set of energies and a completely different set of vibration. So the system is based on 22 numbers and 22 letters, which is based on the Hebrew alphabet. And each number has a sound, as in 1 is Aleph and 2 is Be. So each number has a correlation to the Hebrew alphabet. Now, when we break down the sound of someone's name, we translate that sound, the actual exact sound, into these numbers. And those numbers make out the soul contract. The categories of the soul contract are that you have a physical triangle and a spiritual triangle. We also have a soul destiny, which makes out, it's a combination or a summary of all the numbers in your chart. And we also have the category of challenges, which is karma. And we also have the category of talents and gifts, and also the goals, the goal position where we are, something that we're working towards in our life. And we have these aspects in the spiritual triangle and in the physical triangle as well. So when we look at someone's soul contract, we really ask the person. So if somebody came to me for a reading, I will say, okay, have these things been challenging for you? Are these things A, B, C, something that you have really struggled with this life? And it's always right, of course, but I'm basically asking them about their karma. So I will ask a question that is relating to the specific karmic numbers, which will be in the spiritual karma and in the physical karma. And they will always go, gosh, how do you know? Or, yes, basically. So we're going through this portal of where we say, okay, well, I understand where you've been struggling, and these are the reasons. And here are the reasons why your soul chose to grow in these areas. And here is a map of the full soul expression and what you came here to share with humanity this lifetime, and what you came here to teach others as well. So we go in this way, and then when the talents and the gifts are fully revealed, people again feel sometimes elated and happy and confirmed that everything they've ever wished for and secretly wishing for, just like I did, is true. So it's this igniting, activating feeling in people as well when they have their soul contract reading, because they're like, yes, I knew there was something there more for me. I knew that was something there for me to express and share with the world this lifetime. And now I dare to, really dive into this and dare to become this person. And obviously this could be anything from speaking and writing a book and become a spiritual leader, or to work in a specific environment with specific people that you help, or it can even help you with, for example, where to express your creativity and things like that, or whether you are here to build a spiritual center, or if you're here to catalyze spiritual groups together and help them heal, or speak on stage. Like, there's so many different aspects of the soul contract and so many gifts that are here to be expressed and shared with the world. Because I want to say this as well, every single person alive on this planet have a special gift. They really have something very special to share. And when I say that to people, people often say, but okay, that's easy for you to say, who seem to figure it out. But no, it really is true. It really is true. I'll give you an example, for example here. One of my clients, she is a really good channel. And she's also a really, really, really good business coach. So she has blended her spiritual gifts and power with her business. She is fully expressing herself through her spiritual gift and ability to channel, her ability to create content and create courses and create pathways for her clients, which are truly channeled from the depth of her soul. Like, she is so connected, but she is a business coach. I have a client who works in an animal sanctuary, and she has amazing healing powers, and she loves working with the animals, and this is what her mission is. So everyone's mission can be so different from the other, but we are all meant to express our divine mission, or the service that we're here to contribute and share with the world. And everyone really has one. And it could be from the most simple thing to a more advanced mission. And it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the person is aligned with it, that the person is having space and room to express for it. So they don't feel disheartened, or so that they don't feel like there is no room for them here, or, feel really boxed in sometimes when we have been programmed by the matrix to perform in specific ways, maybe have a specific profession, and then performing in a specific way and climbing the career ladder, perhaps, like properly boxed into a conditioned way. And many of us have had to unplug ourselves from this. And this is actually what's happening. I feel this is what's happening with the world at the moment. So many people are breaking free from the conditioning, and they're really breaking free from the preconceptual way of how to build your life. And they're diving into more of their spiritual expansion, their spiritual gifts, and trusting that spirit will show them what the next step is. And this is exactly what's happening with humanity at the moment. So many people are stepping away from the norm and are dipping in now more and more deeply into what their true mission is, their true gift to share with this world. And this is so important, because when we do live from the depths of our souls, and we are fully connected with what we're truly here to do, then we feel so happy. We feel so happy. We feel deeply fulfilled, deeply happy. So I also wanted to share that this system has helped me in so many ways. I'm going to dive into a few more things, how it has helped me and how it has helped my clients as well. So the first level of the soul contract is that we decode the personal journey. So we decode the spiritual journey, where things have been difficult or where things have been challenging. And then we help transmute these challenges into gifts and into talents, basically, into something magical and something that they can carry out in this lifetime and do. So anything that was challenging can now become a gift instead of a challenge. So, for example, somebody who's shy and does not want to express and speak, they learn to become public speakers, and that's part of their mission. So it's basically breaking through all the fears and all the challenges that we have. So that's your personal decoding, or the personal way of helping you express and helping you fully unlock your purpose through this system. What we also do is we look at the relationships. So we can use the soul contract in one person and then put the other person's soul contracts next to it. And looking at two contracts, we can see where they have a karmic lock. We can see where they catalyze each other or if they irritate each other, because sometimes there is a clash as well. And we can also see where there are natural connections where you're helping each other grow. So it's really, really beautiful system to look at relationships. And I often look at this, obviously I use it for my family, but also if I'm meant to work with a new person, for example, in a business venture, then I always look at their soul contract numbers to make sure it's a good fit. And every time there is, a new person involved in some sort of level coming into my life, I look at their soul contract, because I can tell from the soul contract whether we are meant to, where the strengths are really, and if there are any weaknesses, how we can overcome those. And this is really, really interesting. The next thing we use the soul contract in as well is in business. So we can decode the vibration or the sound of the name of the business, and with the same system. So what we use it for is for websites, for business names. So for example, this podcast, Visionary New Earth Leaders, has got amazing soul contract numbers for what I want this podcast to do. And we use it for email addresses. We also use it for programs and newsletters, headers. Every time I write a newsletter, I check the heading, the title of it, to make sure it has got a good soul contract or good soul contract numbers. Pretty much use it for all aspects. For example, my husband, he started a new sort of collaboration with a company, and before he said yes, we looked at the soul contract of business as well. So I just said, yeah, it's fine. It's going to do this and this and this and this, and it looks fine in that sense. So it's such an expansive and amazing system to use to optimize, the journey really. So for example, when I teach my clients in my business membership, Connected Soul Club, we obviously learn the business and marketing positioning and messaging and content and all those things, and how to put programs together from a traditional marketing and business perspective. But then we also check the headlines, and we check the name of a business and their website name, the name of their programs, if they're launching a new program, etc. We use this system. So it's like an added way to optimize the energies for what it is you want the thing to do. So, for example, I'll take this podcast as an example. So it's called Visionary New Earth Leaders. And it has a 9 in. So the 9 is the power of the dragon. It has a 9. The 9 really resonates with leaders. So often if I put 9s in any headings or masterclasses or teach, this podcast, I attract a lot of visionaries and a lot of leaders because of it. Not just because of it, but my intention is that with podcast, and then having that number as well in the podcast name, just emphasize and amplify that intention that I have put into it. So it's like hyper alignment, if you like. So it's just really, really brilliant. So we use the numbers in all these different areas, and I love using it, helping some of my clients to navigate their family and their private life as well. So obviously they want to navigate their business, but when it comes to navigating your children and challenges if you have challenges with your partner or husband or other family members, it's it's just so revealing and so empowering to see where things are going a bit stressful and how we can then, alleviate that stress and make it a little bit easier, and some really great recommendations how to overcome them so that we're bringing more ease and flow into our lives. So that's what we do. I also wanted to share that when we navigate the map, the spiritual map, so as soon as you started working through the karmic or the challenges, those numbers, so I'll tell you what mine are. So mine are 7s, which is in my physical karma, which means that I wanted to hide my spiritual self. I was scared of showing my true self as a spiritual being for a long, long time. And I did hide. I had 2 personalities, almost not 2 personalities, but 2 sides of me that I showed. So that was just a little snippet of my physical karma. Obviously, I don't do that anymore at all. I'm not filtered in any shape or form. In my spiritual karma, I have 10-1, which means that there was a disconnection from God and not trusting that my spiritual journey will bring me all the happiness and joy and fulfillment that I wished for, thinking that I was maybe abandoned by God or abandoned in a way, in some sort of shape or form from God. And that feeling made me feel quite isolated sometimes. It made me feel also disempowered. It also made me feel like, am I good enough to do this spiritual mission? Am I good enough to hold a space for people, etc.? So the 10-1 also has a tendency to come off the spiritual path. So I had moments in my life where I was really doing lots of spiritual things from the age of 14, 15. Then I had a spell between sort of 19 and 21 when I did nothing spiritual. I didn't read any of my spiritual books. I didn't do any meditations. I didn't do any of it. And then I had another intense spurt from 21 till 27. And I kept going like this. So it was like coming off the spiritual path is something that the 10-1 would do. But the magic is to be on it the whole entire time, which is then helping me breaking through the karma of the 10-1. There's other aspects as well, obviously, in someone's soul contract and in mine. So I'm not going to bore you with all my numbers, but I'm just going to give you an example of how I've overcome them. So what happens is when a person works through the contract, and I believe it's a lifelong journey. It's not like I am perfect and I don't need to do anything more now. Absolutely not. I'm learning all the time. But I do feel that I have transmuted much of my karma and much of my challenges, which means that as soon as a person have done that, you really step into the gifts and the soul destiny. So it's almost like you can't really step into the gifts fully unless you clear the path and kind of clear the karmic challenges. You can, but it's harder, basically. So it really feels easy now. So my spiritual talent is 7. And that means that I'm here to lead, catalyze, heal, inspire, magnetize spiritual groups of people and lead them into the new world, which is exactly what I'm doing. And it feels really aligned. I'm really doing it. There's no blockages. I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh, am I to do this, or what's happening today? It's like absolutely no block there at all. So by working through my contract and fully embodying everything that I teach, I have now kind of unlocked my soul destiny, which is a 10-1. And the 10-1 is to become the walking, talking version of your soul and the full expression of your soul. Almost like, it is like higher consciousness and enlightenment. There is potential for full enlightenment as well. Everyone with a 10-1 in soul destiny has the potential of full enlightenment. Now, whether I be fully enlightened in this life or not, I'm not sure. The journey is what matters most. So, but that's the interpretation of the 10-1, or one of the aspects of it. So that's how my story is about the soul contract, and really learning the depths of my soul, like really diving into the depth of my soul using this system. And it has been absolutely, my life has been like the most rich, full tapestry of amazing experiences, growth, deep gratitude to everyone who has helped me on the journey, and an absolute joy and like excitement about the future as well. Because if anything has been so good, like the last 14 years, then what's the next, 50 years going to be like if I live till I'm, over 100? Yeah, let's see, right? So I'm really, really excited and thrilled about the future and the work of the soul contract. So you can also learn about the soul contract. So I have dropped a link below this episode where you can have a look at my website, learn a little bit about the soul contract. I'm also going to give you the resources where you can go and produce your own soul contract numbers from the soulcontractreader.com website. This doesn't give you a reading, it just gives you the chart. So you would need me to help you do the reading for you. So you can obviously book your soul contract reading. But if you're curious and want to look at your numbers, you can go and do that at the soulcontractreader.com. You get 4 charts, I think, for free. There's also a book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, which you can buy and you can learn more about the system. The book is also, I'm dropping that below as well. And we have a very, very exciting new feature that we are going to bring out, it's already out, but that I'm going to offer my audience, and that is a text reading. So the soul contract reading that you book through my website is obviously a one-on-one soul contract reading with myself, and it's an amazing 2-hour experience, basically, that you will never forget. But we are also bringing in the text reading element. So you could also get a text reading. So that it's a PDF document that you get sent when you made a payment. And it's amazing. It's amazing, this new feature, because it also kind of gives you something tangible, like a document to hold on to. So some of my clients like having both. So they like having the live reading with me, and then they also like having the text reading. So that is all from me today. I am so happy that you decided to listen into this. And if you have any questions about the soul contract and how to use it, or any questions about it, feel free to contact me via my website, gennylyon.love, and also have a look at the resources that are dropped underneath this episode to check out the different resources and learn more about this work. And I'll see you soon in our next episode. Thank you for listening to Gennye Lyon's Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. If you're ready to rewire your subconscious mind, clear your programming and collective conditioning, transform your trauma into trust, and step into your soul's calling and true leadership. Or if you're ready to unlock your fullest potential through activating your light body and expand your consciousness exponentially, detangle and clear your past life karma and Akashic records, and setting up for success, launch your online spiritual business, and so much more, then go to gennylyon.love. And if you're receiving value from the show, I would love if you would share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, you can join me in one of my live free trainings, and you can find it right on the website, as well as in the link in my bio across all social media. I am Gennye Lyon across all platforms. I wish you a blessed day, and may you live your most authentic self.